So I chose to audition for Rhinoceros because naturally I just would like to be more on stage so that I can get the supplementary education that goes along with being in a main stage in addition to acting classes.
I thought for a while I wanted a conservatory and to get a Bachelor of Fine Arts in musical theater, and then having taken all of the classes that are required for a BA that include, technical theater, stagecraft, costumes, you're so much better prepared to be a well-rounded theater professional and theater artist. And without, Pitt Theater, I would not have gotten involved with design and realized that I love to design lights, as well as perform in musical theater.
Good Kids is actually the only show that I auditioned for last semester. It was after I read the script, and I just thought it was a really, something so different than what Pitt has done in their previous years, and I just think it's such an important message, something that I feel really passionate about, and I just thought it would be a really good opportunity to explore that further.
It was definitely a character. There was so much layered in it. It was the first character I ever had where it was like, oh, you're not going out there and oh, just sing this song or deliver these lines. It was no, you gotta delve into this character and figure him out, because each character in it was so complex that
you're forced to get involved in areas that you may not have expected to be a part of. And I think also just the fact that I was able to get involved and be in a show as soon as I got here as a freshman.
This was kind of something new for me. A lot of the acting that I'd done before was mostly just trying to amplify the things that Brendan does day to day. However, this show really required me to bring elements that were foreign to me and habits that were foreign to me and work with them to the point where they became natural and to the point where they did not obscure impulse. And so that was probably the biggest distinction as an actor for me with this play.
Every class I've taken so far, we've had to do a presentation or a group presentation. And I also think there's a really big collaborative aspect to theater that helps you in all your other classes. Because even if you don't have a group project, you might want to study with other people, and it's always good to learn how to work as a team.
The most influential professor. Okay. Anne-Marie Duggan, Robert Frankenberry, Gianni Adele, Cindy Group. It's really hard. All of them are incredible. Every professor I've had at Pitt Theater has changed me somehow.
I went with Cindy Crute, and I learned so much. I think not even just as a director, but as an actor, or I may not be a designer, but as a designer, I felt like I learned a lot about some of those things. It was one of the most all-encompassing classes. I've taken some really good acting classes. I've taken some very good, other tech classes and things like that. But that directing class taught me everything I need to know about not just directing, but acting, about working with designers. I learned more about the whole process of putting on production in that class than I've learned in anything else.
Well, I don't think we could have done this play without a education in the humanities. The humanities teaches us to read and think critically, and without those skills, we would have just been bullied by the script the entire time. But because we have those abilities of critical thinking, we can bring our own ideas to the script and work with it instead of having it kind of boss us around.
The first time Brendan comes through the wall as the rhinoceros, we had never, up until that point, halfway, 3/4 of the way through the process, it was very much just an idea that we had talked about. And so I had that in the back of my mind. We had rehearsed it without the panels and without the mask. And then when it finally happened, there was this switch where everything became real. And it was this genuine sense of fear and terror that I got. And I ended up tearing the wall down accidentally, and it was a mess. But I think that one moment kind of shows what can happen on stage, what theater can do that movies or books or any other artistic medium can't do, where it's live, it's real, it's visceral, and it's magic. And I think that one moment kind of signified all of that.
The best part of Pitt's theater department is the professors. Every single one of them is accessible, easy to talk to, very approachable. I love that I can sit down with one professor and say, all right, so here are my goals and ambitions in technical theater. How do I get there? And they say, okay, do this, this, and this. And then I can walk across the hall and say to my other professor, I don't know what I want to do with my performance stuff. What do I do? And she'd be like, yeah, so this is what you need to do.
This is the first time Pitt's ever really done something like this, especially with it being like the Big Ten initiative. And it actually, I know a lot of different groups were involved. The IFC was involved in it, and a lot of different like women's organizations and different organizations on campus were involved or were at like the talkbacks that we had. It was a really cool way to bring the whole campus and community together to combat such an important social issue.
I feel like with a lot of plays, you can go into them with a certain expectation of how they're going to turn up and how they're going to end up looking, but Rhinoceros is very ambiguous, and there's a lot of different styles that are represented in there. There's satire, there's comedy, there's horror, there's epic, and so really going into this process, I had no idea what it was going to look like, and it was very exciting for me as an artist because that gives me more opportunity to really leave my imprint on the work.
In the past few productions I've been in at Pitt, all coming together with something new, and I think that was a big takeaway.
And whatever you want out of this program is provided for you. You just have to know how to get it, and they teach you that right off the bat. So Pitt Theater, because you create your own education in a sense, and you are much better prepared for professional theater because of it.